Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My daughter Missy's meeting boys on the internet.
A dangerous obsession.
She hops in the car with men she's never met before.
Even after a frightening encounter.
Missy was found semi-conscious
in a ditch without my top on.
She still seeks out strangers.
I guess she's not getting the attention that she needs.
It's like you're irritated that she has a problem. My first guests say their daughter Missy is 17, sees no danger in talking to 5 to 10 random guys a day online. But what strikes me odd is that her mother seems more concerned about her daughter's dating life and popularity than her dangerous online behavior. You'll see what I mean. Take a look.
My 17-year-old daughter Missy lives and breathes by that iPhone, iPad, and iPod.
Missy goes through addict reactions when she doesn't have her electronics. Bargaining, lying, promising to do better.
My daughter Missy's been on the internet searching for boys since she was 12 years old. In the beginning, I thought it was great that Missy was meeting boys on the internet.
She gets to be told sweet nothings by this boy. They're never actually a physical contact. You can't get virtually pregnant. And so we didn't discourage it. Now she's using the internet to avoid her real responsibilities in life.
Homework, chores, helping your mother. What else do I nag you about? Oh, taking care of your horse and your guinea pig and your donkey.
When I go online, I usually go on meetme.com. It's a dating site. People can message you.
I'm concerned about the internet relationships because Missy is now involved in these boys that I don't know. Oftentimes, they're much older. In fact, we had a young gentleman come by the house that she admitted was 25 years old. A 25-year-old and a newly minted 17-year-old could work, but I just don't see that happening in this case. Some of them travel great distances, like an hour to see her, and that's really a little bit far for teen romance. I'm concerned about the lack of a sincere relationship.
When I tweeted that I was working on a show about internet danger, my Twitter account just blew up with comments, stories, and opinions, some of them so scary. You were also passionate. I wanted you at home to be involved in today's show. So behind me are some of you right now flowing in on my Twitter. And I'm going to be reading some of your tweets during the show, so keep them coming and use the hashtag WebDangers, because I may want to talk to you. Well, Mary says they've tried everything they can think of, from a swimming pool to ponies, to get Missy to stop her online addiction. Interesting approach, ponies and pools. Take a look.
I am trying to use incentives for Missy to no longer be as dependent on her phone.
One of Mary's truisms in life is that you can buy children with gifts.
In fact, she's the envy of most of her girlfriends because she has so much. We have a nice home with a couple of acres. We bought her a horse. We built her a beautiful designer barn. She has a darling little donkey. We have a pool. We have a hot tub. She can go anywhere that she would like to go with friends. There's never a restriction or you can't afford that. I think that Jude and I give her everything materially and hopefully emotionally that she desires, really. But I guess that's not enough.
Okay, I'm glad we're talking about this because this is important for teens across the country. And so there's a trade-off. You're going to get some up-close and personal focus on this, and I get a teaching tool for everybody at home. So do you have a question for me? Off the top, what's your question?
Is this an addiction that I should be looking for help like any other addiction? Is this something where where I need to get her some serious mental, guidance here, some help in maybe weaning her off of the internet as much as I can entirely?
All right, that's 3 questions. The answers are no, yes, and you stopped 1 too short.
Okay.
No, this isn't an addiction. Yes, she does need some really serious help. And I'll tell you the question you didn't get to in a minute. Do you have anything you want to add here?
No, I think that's mostly what we were trying to find, is to bring her back to reality.
Okay. First off, you want the truth from me as I see it, I assume.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Let me be very clear. This is not a Missy problem.
Right.
This is a family problem.
Okay.
And it was interesting, you're saying, do I need to get her some help? Do we need to get her fixed? Do we need to get her off the internet? Her. Listen, this child wasn't born with a proclivity to be on the internet. I mean, she didn't come out of the womb reaching for the keyboard. She came out a blank slate, and we write on who these kids are. And you will never, ever bribe this child. You call them incentives. I call them bribes. You will never bribe this child out of doing what she's doing, because it has nothing to do, whether she has a pool or a pony has nothing to do with why she's on that internet. She's not on there because she's bored. She's not on there because she doesn't have a pool to swim in or a pony to ride. She's on there for very different reasons. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, why are you buying her pools and ponies?
Well, we had the pool. I didn't buy her a pool, but the pony was really, yes, for her to do something that was outdoors with an animal, to bond with.
Sense of responsibility.
And to take care of.
How's that working for you?
It has not been working as I had planned, no. I love the horse. But...
Animal therapy is great. Seriously, animal therapy is great. And now that you have the horse, I hope you keep it, and I hope that she gets around to dealing with that. But you've got to deal with some other issues first. Now, I've also got to tell you, when I was listening to your tape, and I can play it back if you need to hear it, I was bothered that I think you're really underreacting to this situation. You were saying, you know, I'm a little concerned, and driving an hour to see my daughter when they don't even know her is a little bit far, and a 25-year-old and a newly minted 17-year-old, it could work, but I don't see it in this case. I watched that and said, wow, you need a wake-up call. This is not a little bit of a problem. An hour for someone to drive to meet your daughter that she knows absolutely nothing about other than that they have a computer, and she gets in a car with them and leaves, is not a little bit of concern. It is a huge concern.
I agree with that.
Okay, but I mean, you were kind of, there's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. We can just tweak this a little bit, we'll all be happy.
No, I don't actually feel that way.
I don't think you do, but that's the way you talk about it to maybe yourself and to others. I think your daughter, in my opinion, is one of the highest risk candidates for abduction, violence, or rape that I have seen in the last few years.
My mom and Jude make me feel isolated and lonely. The guys over the internet were always sweet to me, made me feel good about myself, made me actually feel special.
Why do you think she is this hungry for attention?
I think that she's very insecure. I think she's a little naive. And I guess she's not getting the attention that she needs, the positive feedback in other parts of her life. Mm-hmm. And some of that is obviously, you know, with the family and
you said,
positive,
and I quote, "My biggest fear is she won't become a responsible adult because she stopped her social development and has become this recluse on a computer," right?
Yes, yes.
Your biggest fear should be that she makes it to adulthood. Not that I'm not trying to be an alarmist here. I'm telling you the truth.
Okay.
Because she's going to tell you some things today that are going to change the way you look at this, and then you're going to be asking, why? I love her, I nurture her, I care for her. Why is she doing this? Missy says she's no more addicted to the internet than any other teen her age. Plus, social media gives her something that she says her family doesn't. Listen to what she says very carefully. Focus on her words here.
I go on the internet because I resent my mom. She doesn't make me feel good about myself, and neither does Jude. After my mom was divorced for a month, she met my stepdad, and she started dating them. I was angry because our whole family meant nothing to her. I strongly disliked Jude. He always makes me feel like a complete about myself, like a total disappointment all the time. Like there's nothing I can do to be better and to make him happy, so there's no point in me trying. My mom and Jude make me feel isolated and lonely. That's why I'm in my room all the time. The guys over the internet were always sweet to me, made me feel good about myself, made me actually feel special. They do tell me that they love me. I don't know if I love them, but I feel like I do have a connection with them.
All right, Missy has joined us, and before I talk to you, I asked the two of you while they were moving some furniture around, I pulled you to the side and said, watch this without distraction. Were you able to do that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What did you hear that means something to you?
That she feels like I destroyed the family because I separated from her father, and that she's not getting the kind of positive feedback from Jude and I that she needs. And that is very upsetting.
Mm-hmm. What'd you hear?
I heard her say that she gets nothing but negative feedback from me. I certainly don't agree with that. I do give her more negative feedback because I think she earns more negative feedback than positive feedback. Mm-hmm. I give positive feedback when she's done something positive, but that's so few and far between that it's hard not to, otherwise I wouldn't say anything. And if I don't say anything, I feel like I'm not really providing her any guidance at all.
Okay, I'm going to say some things, y'all, all throughout this show that I think when you sit down and watch this back, I hope you do it with a pen and a pad and write it down. Because what you just said is so misguided in my view. She may do a lot of stuff that is worthy of criticism. I have no doubt about that. And you're going to hear some from me today. Trust me. But, you know, Robin and I have two boys that we've raised up now, 2 adults. And I didn't like everything they did every step of the way. I wasn't thrilled with all the choices they made. But one thing they always knew from the both of us is that we loved them unconditionally. We may have hated their behavior in the moment, but we loved them unconditionally. So you said, I got to catch her doing something right to say something positive. Are you kidding me? I mean, do you feel that way?
No. I feel that you have to.
Children have to know they are loved unconditionally. And I want her to know that you will love her all the way to the electric chair or the graveyard if that's where she heads. But either way, you may hate her behavior, but you love her and you love her unconditionally. Maybe you don't. You're not her biological father. Right. So you may not have that bond with her, but you certainly do.
Yes.
What do you want from, let's start with your mother. What do you want from your mother that you're not getting?
I just feel like she just doesn't care. Like she always puts Jude first before me. I want to spend time with her outside of the house. The only time we spend together is when I get my nails done or I get my hair done. And that's occasionally. Sometimes we'll go shopping. That's rarely. I just want a connection with her. I don't want to be a disappointment. I know I am a disappointment to her because I don't have good grades. I don't do anything. But that's because I just feel like I don't have that love, and I feel like I'm worthless to everybody, like my whole family, especially her.
So you want things you're not getting from her?
Yeah, I want just to be appreciated. Like I feel like she actually like wants me. in her life.
Do you understand that a lot of your behavior is beyond unacceptable?
Yeah.
You lie
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that, and you'd be interested to know that's the least of my concerns. Coming up, when Missy was only 15, she wound up alone, drunk, and passed out in a ditch. 15. How did it happen? I plan to ask her mother when we come back.
I was pushed into a ditch without my bra or top on.
Missy was found semi-conscious. Luckily, her head was above the water.
I had alcohol poisoning, and they told me I was most likely raped.
I thought it was irresponsible for her to drink and lose control.
This is a story every parent should hear. A Riverdale teenager had a close call with an accused sexual predator who showed up right outside her front door.
These things you read about in the paper, in reality, they're pretty rare. Yeah, of course, there's always that fear in the back of your mind that she could get abducted and hurt out there. But realistically, my biggest fear is that she's just not going to grow up and is just going to not succeed in life.
Well, Jude is here today along with his fiancée, Mary, and her 17-year-old daughter, Missy. Now, they say Missy is an addict. She suffers from withdrawals, denial, moodiness, and a false sense of reality. Her family says she's not addicted to drugs. That's not the problem. It's the internet. Her parents say the stories of abductions in the news don't concern them as much as Missy's virtual world of boyfriends who aren't real. But Missy says she's had one very real and scary encounter with a man that she'll never be able to forget, no matter how hard she tries.
When I was 15, I went with Jude and my mom to an outdoor family picnic.
A boy about her age came over. They were dancing a little bit, and she said, I want to wander around with this boy. And I made her promise that you're not leaving the party, right? She's like, no. We said, fine, you know where we'll be. I did not know the boy.
It was probably an hour and a half before Missy went missing that I really started getting concerned.
When I was hanging out with the guy, he gave me something to drink and I poured it in the cup myself. And I poured a lot in the cup. So I got really drunk and I blocked out.
Jude and I went looking for her. We went up to the campground to see if she was there, and she wasn't.
I was pushed into a ditch without my bra or top on, and my pants were bloody.
Missy was found semi-conscious. Luckily, her head was above the water.
I had alcohol poisoning, so I was out of it, and I woke up in the hospital, and they told me I was most likely raped.
When Missy told me that she felt that she had been raped, I felt terrible. The strange thing was, I think I felt worse than she appeared to feel.
She was a relatively happy drunk. She didn't seem to be distraught or upset. She, at that time, did not consider it a rape.
I did feel like this guy did rape me. I was sad. I went home and I was crying my eyes out. My parents did blame me. My stepdad was like, you know, it's your fault that we can't go to this other concert.
I thought it was irresponsible for her to drink and lose control.
You don't say that after somebody went through that. It did make me feel worthless because it was my virginity.
Okay. So, according to you, and according to you on that tape, you say that you feel like you were raped.
I was raped.
And it's like the boy that cries wolf. I mean, people sometimes take what you say with a grain of salt, but you did wind up in a ditch, unconscious, half disrobed, and wound up in the hospital. Someone seriously mistreated your daughter, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And your response was, I heard it, I can play it back. I thought it was really irresponsible of her to drink.
That wasn't my only response, Dr. Phil. My response was I was horrified on the whole situation. I felt some responsibility for taking her to this family picnic concert. And also, I think the boy is reprehensible that someone would do that to her and leave her for dead in a ditch. I mean,
What did you do with your daughter at this point?
I was supporting her, and I asked her if she wanted to prosecute the boy, and she did not. Is that correct?
You told me maybe it's better if we don't prosecute.
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
I never said that.
Yes, you did. You weren't even there, dude. No. You were. It was just me and my mom.
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
Why would I say that?
I don't know. You're like, do you want to prosecute? I was like, no. And you're like, maybe that's better.
Well, that's different than what you said.
Yeah, I was going to support you in whatever you decided to do, and you know that.
Okay.
Apparently, she doesn't know that.
Well.
There was a nice tagline on the end, and you know that.
Okay, all right. Maybe she didn't know that.
Apparently, she doesn't know. I mean, do you believe she was raped?
Yes.
No, you don't.
I ask you that every day.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Every day. How did your day go?
Okay, wanted to make sure I didn't
About
miss an
school.
opportunity to tell her that she's wrong and correct her.
She's a really tough girl.
Do you believe she was raped?
Yes.
And what?
Do I know without a shadow of a doubt? No.
We don't know because they didn't do the rape kit because she didn't want to do the rape kit.
What did you do at that point with her? When you were in the hospital, you found her, she's there. What did you do the next 72 hours?
I was there with her, supporting her. And if she wanted to prosecute the boy, I was willing to do so.
I'm not asking about the prosecuting.
Oh.
But that's very telling. Okay, got it. You're not sure that she was raped, right?
I don't think anybody's sure. She was blacked out.
You said it sure makes a dramatic story, but...
Right. I mean, I wanted to do the rape kit so we know for a fact what happened. And we had the option 7 years.
You did know she was in a ditch.
Yeah.
You did know that she was bleeding.
Right.
You did know she was half disrobed.
Right.
You did know she wound up in a hospital.
Correct.
But you wanted some other piece of information so you could determine just how
She was
empathetic to be.
I'm not saying she wasn't traumatized.
Okay, but you wanted this one other piece of information that would have triggered what in you that was not triggered otherwise?
I mean, it was all triggered the same way. I mean, either way, it was the same reaction.
Were you her soft place to fall at that point?
I was there to support her.
I understand. Now answer my question.
Was I a soft place to fall? To a certain, yeah, I hope so. I mean, I hope that she felt like I was there with her every step of the way. I mean, I was absolutely distraught about the whole situation.
Why don't you ask her what she thinks?
What do you think?
After it was done, we just forgot it.
You went to counseling.
Okay, but I didn't talk to you
to...
about it. You weren't like really there. You're just like, okay, let's just forget about it.
I don't think that's...
Have we ever talked about it since then?
Well, we had a whole episode of...
Hold on a minute. Listen, I'm really trying to help you here. I don't want you to be a right fighter. I want you to close a gap if one exists here. And she's telling you how she felt, what her experience of it was. And you're telling her she's wrong. No, I was there. I supported you. I did this. I was there. You're not hearing her.
I hear her. She does not feel like I was there.
You never listen to me. You say that you do, but you never do. I feel like I say something and it goes right out the other ear.
I'm not saying she's right. I'm just telling you
how she feels.
There is no reality, only perception.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
If you believe something is true, if you believe in your heart that it's true, then all your behavior, all your choices flow from that belief. Now, you're wondering why she is connecting with strangers on the internet. It should be an obvious to the most casual observer that she's doing this because she's got a need that's being filled by those people. Clearly, they aren't filling it, but she's a child, and children are naive. And if you get somebody telling them what they want to hear, then in the moment, it feels good. And if your child is going somewhere besides home to get emotional fulfillment, emotional connection, emotional comfort. She's not perceiving this at home. And frankly, watching the interaction between you here, it's like you're irritated that she has a problem. It seems like it bothers you. I don't think that's how you mean to come across, but it is how you are coming across.
Maybe in some way I am irritated because she has a problem, because I feel like I have helped create this problem. And I guess I'm at a loss for what I can do to remedy that situation.
I'm trying to get to that, but I'd had to observe some things first here. And you're showing all of the warmth of a snowman here. I mean, you're sitting there like, well, you didn't say, no, I said that. I didn't know. That is not what I said. That is not what I said. Well, I mean, are you over her?
No.
It's just like, I'm just so over you.
No, I'm sorry that you feel that way.
That's always how I feel. You tell me that I'm such a disappointment to you because of my grades. All you care about is my grades. You never ask me, oh, how's your day? Okay, maybe you do sometimes, but like that's because when I'm mad, I don't want to talk.
You know,
and look how you're reacting right now.
Excuse me, did you want to correct her and argue with her?
You know what we get when we ask you that? I ask you that every day.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Every day. How did your day go?
Okay, wanted to make sure I didn't miss an opportunity to tell her that she's wrong and correct her. You almost got shut out there.
She can make up anything she wants, and then she seems sympathetic, but she's a really tough girl. She's a really tough girl. I ask her every day, how'd your day go? I get nothing. If I get a response at all. Usually I get no response. She just leaves, walks out of the room. I mean, I try to talk to her every day, and I get no response. I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I can't make her talk to me.
No, you've now said something that we agree with. You said, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
You don't know what you're supposed to do. I don't think you're an evil guy, but you don't know what you're supposed to do. Seriously, because I know she's a liar. I said it's like the little boy that cried wolf, right? And you're saying she's putting on big sympathetic show here for everybody and making y'all look cold and distant, right?
That's not my concern. My concern is that I think she really...
Well, my concern is you found her in a ditch and she didn't feel attended to. Instead, she felt like criticized, like you shouldn't have been drinking. And you're right, she shouldn't have been drinking. And it's your job to see around corners for her because you're the adult. She's the child. Her brain isn't through growing yet. Children given the opportunity to get big stupid will get big stupid.
My parents are way too open about sex.
I think sex is fabulous, and I want her to think that.
If it's natural for them, then it's natural for me.
Look, after all this conversation about Missy's blackout incident, I find her mother and Jude's behavior around her interesting. She finds it interesting. Take a look at this. We'll talk about this.
My parents are way too open about sex. Yeah. Why? You do it so much.
I think sex is fabulous, and I want her to think that. I want her to have a healthy, honest approach to sex.
I've caught him having sex in the pool, in the kitchen, in the TV area, on the couch, when I'm just going out to feed the horses, and I'll come back and I'll be having sex. I'll hear him in the morning. It's just completely embarrassing. And he'll talk about it in front of my face.
When Missy complains about me and her mother having sex, I say, well, that's a natural byproduct of two people that are in love.
If it's natural for them, then it's natural for me. It shouldn't really matter if I do it too.
What do you think about that?
I'm horrified that she thinks she's caught us having sex all over the place.
I have.
And I'm just like, that is certainly not my intention to expose her to that.
Well, you said, hey, it's great, it's normal.
Well, no,
I want her to have a healthy
she
sexual relationship.
I don't want her
a
to...
healthy sex life. She's 17. But go
well,
ahead.
no, that's not what I said. I said I want her to have a healthy view of sex. I'm not saying I want her to have a healthy sex life at this stage in her life.
Right.
I think in the future, I would like her to have a healthy sex life with her husband or when she's in a committed relationship.
Should you be having sex when my friends are over? Okay, our room is like connected, right? The walls. My friends sometimes will sleep in my room, right? They'll wake up, or we'll both wake up, they'll be like, Missy, I think your parents are having sex. I'll be like, really? And I'll like kind of listen, I'll be like, oh, wow, I'm sorry, that's really embarrassing.
That is not intentional, though, and I'm sorry that you've heard that, and we have tried to remedy that.
Do it every time.
Well...
So what are you saying? We wait for your friends to come over and then we have sex?
No, I'm just saying, like, you have sex when they're over. Maybe you could wait until they're, like, we're awake and, like, away from where you guys are doing it.
We have not had that issue in a while. Is that... I mean...
have I been home, though? I've been on vacation.
Well, let's take a quick break. I need one. Well, I'm flashing about my parents. This is tough on a kid.
No, I agree.
Sometimes.
I certainly...
Our Twitter's blowing up. People do care about this. Colson Mama says, take the cucumbers off your eyes and realize creeps are looking for their victims online. It's time to protect our families. You have no idea. The 15-year-old doesn't make the decision about whether to prosecute. She was raped. No questions asked. Call the police. And they're just, I mean, I tell you this, y'all didn't invent this problem, is my point. There are a lot of people having some of these issues y'all are having. Missy's brother is backstage. He's heard a few lies he wants to clear up. We're going to meet him next.
The first time Missy met someone from the internet was a week after her 13th birthday. She had brought home a sailor. I'm guessing maybe 20 or 21. I would not be surprised if someone knocked on my door and told me that she was abducted tomorrow.
I have zero problem with hopping in a car with a total stranger. I've never had that fear of being beaten or getting stolen or raped or anything. I do feel like if it hasn't happened yet, then it will never happen to me.
Well, that was 17-year-old Missy who says she doesn't consider the danger she puts herself in when she hops in the car with men she's never met before and only talked to online. Now, her older brother says, look, you're just asking for trouble. Now, I understand that she lies, but I think these would be some odd things to lie about. And what I've done here is I've talked to you guys and gotten information about what you think is going on. We've talked to Missy and figured out, okay, what is actually going on. And there's a tendency for kids to hide things and play them down. I understand that. But your perception is that she has met as many as 20 to 25 men in person from the internet, right?
I don't know that myself.
Dr. Phil, before we came on the show, maybe 2 or 3 days, we found this out.
Well, where did you get the number 20 to 25? Because according to you, you said she had met as many as 20 to 25 men that she had met online.
I was guessing that might...
It was men. It was boys.
Boys.
We look, when they come
males.
When they come over to the
Males,
house,
right.
Let's call them males.
I
Okay.
interrogate them, take their picture, take a picture of their license plate.
Okay, here's what she has confessed to us. She says that she's met at least 100 of them in person.
That's certainly news to me.
Are you telling the truth or are you lying?
I was just guessing how
Yeah, I
many.
understand.
I'm guessing like 100.
Yeah, that's a horrifying guess. According to you, 10 to 12 men from the internet have been in your home.
Again, boys. her age.
That's what you're saying, that 10 to 12 have been in the home, correct?
I think that we've probably met 10 or so boys. I was not necessarily told that they were part of the internet meeting. Oftentimes she'll tell us that she's met them through friends or at school. And as it turns out, she'll coach them on what to tell us sometimes.
She tells us that she has met up with at least 50 in your home.
50?
50. Is that
not
true?
when we're here.
Of course not.
She's here.
Dr. Phil, I am home when she gets home from school.
That's true. You've met 50 people in their home.
I'm guessing like 50.
You're guessing?
I mean, she's a stay-at-home mom. She's at home all day. So I don't know when she's meeting these
Can I
She says you're not home on Wednesdays.
No, it's actually, I do work part-time. And I'm
Listen,
gone
I don't want to
some
spend time talking about your work
all right.
schedule. I'm just telling you what this girl's saying, and if I was you, I'd want to know.
Right.
You can decide it's a lie. You can tell it's all manufactured. You can divide it by 3 or 4 or
Right.
5
Right.
or
Right. It's
whatever.
still
She's bringing men into your home when you're not there.
huge numbers.
Can I say something?
25 years old.
Yeah, but
We're talking up to 25 years old
right,
here.
Right.
You've only done the license plate thing once that I can remember. That was one guy.
But I talked to every guy you brought over.
Yeah, I know, but you don't take pictures of them. You don't look at their license. You don't take pictures of their car.
Well, you're not leaving with them. Have you ever left with anybody that I haven't interrogated?
I'm telling you, this ain't my first day. But it is astounding to me what trivia you guys want to spend your time talking about at the expense of the genuine issue here.
What's the genuine issue, Doc? That she's meeting. I mean, that's where people meet nowadays. Are we supposed to? That's what we're saying. Do we prohibit all internet use?
Right. She can have no contact with any boys.
And then she just tells us she met him at school.
Well, and in fairness to you, this isn't really your problem because you're not her father, you're not her stepfather.
I don't agree with that.
No, hold on. You're in her view, you're dating her mother, and this means that you don't have. You're in the most difficult position of anyone in any blended family situation, because to come in and try and parent an older teen, I can tell you, 35 years experience is just virtually impossible. You've got an uphill battle here.
I agree with that.
You don't. I'm telling you, as a parent, if somebody shared that information with me, I would consider that to be urgently change-worthy behavior. Here's what she's telling us, that she's met at least 100 men in person. She calls them men, not boys. 50 have been in your home, most of them when you are not there. The oldest guy she's talked to is not 25, but in fact 29. That you think she has had sex with 5 guys, it's somewhere between 10 and 30. You say you think she has tried weed. She says, I love it. I smoke it every weekend that I get the chance. You say she's never smoked in the house. She says she does on weekends. You say that she drinks occasionally. She says, I love drinking. I drink every weekend, and I drink my parents' alcohol. There's so much in the house that they don't miss it. You said she didn't seem affected by the sexual assault. She said she cried her eyes out and became depressed. And you say that you do mother-daughter activities with her. Her perception is that you never spend time. Now, I'm just telling you what on interview this young girl is telling us, and if you want to talk about your work schedule or whether you think he's a father or whether or not, then y'all talk about that on your own time. You don't need me for that. But I'm telling you, as a parent, just take off the Dr. Phil hat. As a parent, if somebody shared that information with me, or if they just told me the lies and fantasies that she was generating, I would consider that to be urgently change-worthy behavior. I'm certainly not convinced Missy and her family fully grasped the dangers of her online addiction Tomorrow, I'm going to introduce them to another family who knows all too well what can go wrong on the internet. Their story made national headlines and is truly every parent's worst nightmare. It's emotional and heated intervention that you will not want to miss.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. Her daughter went missing after meeting someone online.
You trusted that she knew what she was doing.
I did.
Can they convince this young teen?
I talk to these guys on the internet and get in the car with them.
What makes you not care whether somebody hurts you?
She's playing a dangerous game.
My daughter only met one man on the internet, and that person ended her life. Every man you have met could have done it to you.
That's tomorrow.
If you're worried that your teen may be in trouble, go to drphil.com for the top warning signs that your child might be at risk online. This is serious business, folks. I hope you see the problem. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.